Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hot Condos with Costas. I am Costas Kivelos, founder of First Access Condos, and also the host of Condo Investing with Costas every Sunday on CHCH at 10 a.m. Now, today I am speaking to everybody to let you guys know about 4 fantastic projects we have basically starting the spring season. So the reason I wanted to talk to you is not just to go over the projects, but to give a little bit of insight as to what's happening in our condo market. Now, last year, everybody knows we had COVID and we're still embraced by its hands now. And we don't really know when things are going to open. We're currently in the longest and harshest lockdown in North America, which I strongly disagree with, but we won't talk about that now. But we are sitting here and we are experiencing something phenomenal. We are seeing record-breaking numbers in the low-rise sector of our market, and we are also seeing similar things happening in the high-rise sector. And that's not just in resale, it's also in pre-construction. So last year, what we saw was a series of freeze-thaw cycles with pre-construction. When the lockdowns were lifted, we couldn't keep product on the shelves. When the lockdowns were enacted, everything froze to a halt. So even though that was happening continuously up and down, as almost like a roller coaster, we still saw a great number of units being sold in the pre-construction sector. So much so that last year we all had pretty good years. And when we did a comparison at the end of the year with the accountants, and we compared the amount of work in comparison to amount of units sold, we had a record year. We only worked 66% of the time, yet our productivity was only down 12. So when you put it on the spreadsheet, 2020 was a record year. I had forecasted that 2020 was going to be the year of the condo, and we would sell the most pre-construction units, not just on the planet, because we do that year over year, but the most pre-construction units on record. Now, we are set to do that now in 2021. So, and now, why am I forecasting that? Well, we had probably one of the biggest launches of the year about a month ago, and that was 8 Wellesley. It was a higher end product in probably, arguably, the best location in the city geographically, and it sold 600 units in just over 8 days. They had hit 597 of 599 sold in 8 days. So that's truly phenomenal with an average price per square foot in the high 1400s. We also had a project out in Hamilton that sold out just over 300 units in just over a weekend. And what we're seeing is a pent-up demand for product and people are acting on it. Now, why is this happening? Now, I'm going to just talk numbers here, and I don't want to sound like I lack empathy, but the reality of the matter is the people that got affected by COVID economically are usually the people that can't afford to buy these. They're the people working lower income jobs in the retail and service industries. But only 8% of our workforce here in the GTA works in those industries. So they're the ones who are affected by this. For the vast majority, these over 90% other part of the population, they have saved over 70% more money year over year during COVID. Now, the factors behind that are limitless because everybody has something different. But the gist of it is that people didn't travel, people didn't go to restaurants, and even though there was online shopping, they didn't really end up going to stores because they were closed. So the entertainment aspect of their lives was totally removed and deleted, allowing them to save up to 70% more money than the previous years. So what happened is we're seeing people now put that money and go invest in real estate. Now, when you combine that with record low interest rates, which will continue for up until 2023, the economic forecast is, it is a perfect recipe for a real estate market to achieve new heights. And that's why I'm here today. I want to express what you, the clients, and the realtors watching this need to know. Today's market for pre-construction is probably one of the hottest we've ever had. I'm forecasting that we're going to sell more units this year than any other year previous. What does that mean to you? That means that you really need to be ahead of everybody else when trying to get a unit. Gone are the days that you can wait for pricing and plans and complete packages to be launched. Take a few days and submit your worksheets. What you need to do is take advantage of the insider information that First Access Condos and myself present to you. And by that, what we do is we get you pricing. It's going to be an estimate per square foot, but it still gets your foot in the door. We're going to get you floor plans when possible. We're going to get you the inside scoop on deposit structures, and we're going to get you brochures that a lot of times my team and myself, we prepare because the developer hasn't released it yet. So what you're going to have before everybody else is plans. You're going to have an estimated price per square foot. And the way to calculate potential selling price is you take the interior square footage, multiply it by the estimated price per square foot, and you have a ballpark to work with. And we're also going to get you as much information as we can on deposit structures. And those are the three most important things. They're pricing, deposit, and floor plan. With those, you have the tools, or your clients will have the tools, to submit a preliminary worksheet prior to the launch of the project. Now, as difficult as it might be to wrap your head around it, if you want to be successful in this game of investing in pre-construction, we're called First Access Condos for a reason. We get you first access, but that only works if our partnership with you is at the same level and on point. And to do that, you need to submit first, just like buying first. So now that we've recapped how to succeed, let's talk a little bit more about what happened to COVID and how we're bouncing back and what my forecast is for the remainder of the year. So what happened was, and for those of you that have heard of me speak of this one before, bear with me. What happened was on New Year's Eve 2019, okay, the World Health Organization announced that there's a pandemic coming out of Wuhan, China. Now, we don't know if it actually originated there, and quite honestly, it doesn't matter. What we need to know is how it affected us. So what happened is we went into lockdown in March, and then everything froze. Prior to that, 55 Mercer launched and sold over 500 units in 8 days. So that predicted year of the condo. 1 second, I'm also reading your comments as we go along. Ken asked, even if she doesn't have a buyer, she can submit a worksheet. If you don't have a buyer, don't submit a worksheet. What happens is we upload it to our portal and put it on our spreadsheet so that we are ready to submit it on time. We don't submit worksheets that aren't backed by actual buyers, unlike some other sales teams. We're busy enough not to need to inflate our numbers. But when you submit a worksheet, don't worry, we'll get it in immediately. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. So what happened was 55 Mercer sets the stage for the year of the condo, and then our lockdown happened. We went into a very, very long lockdown, and for those of us that are parents, we will ever know it as the never-ending March break, okay? So what happened was when kids were out of school, the mentality and psychology of society shifted. Everybody knew there was something seriously wrong because your kids were at home and not in school. That causes a rift in the confidence of the market as a whole, because you can't forget there is something wrong happening because your kids are not in school, and that is the one foundation of daily life. You wake up, you get your kids ready, they go to school, and guess what? You go to work, you make money so you can invest in condos. So that was off. The scales had shifted, and that's what we saw. But what happened was, as lockdowns were lifted, condos sold. And that started happening in June. But a byproduct of COVID was the fact that we did not have close to 60,000 foreign students in the GTA. What does that mean? That means close to 60,000 renters were not here. That affected our rental market. In addition to that, we only had 20% of the immigration that we usually see. And we are the #1 destination point in North America for immigration, and one of the top cities in the world for immigration as well. That also affected the buying pool and the rental pool. In addition, if that was not enough, the third prong on the trident that hit us was the fact that we lost all tourism. Now, how does that affect us? When we lose tourism, Airbnb owners panic. And when they panic, they flood the market with rentals. So now we had close to 5,000 units flooding the rental market. We had 0 of 60,000 foreign students in the rental market, and we also lost 80% of our immigration. Now that is a recipe for apocalyptic disaster. But that is not what happened. And why is that? Because our market is based on a strong foundation of supply and demand. And I've been saying this for years. The most annoying thing I hear regularly is that we are in a bubble. Bubbles are based on speculation. Our market is based on supply and demand, the fundamentals of economics. And that's why we didn't crash. What we did see was a 10 to 20% temporary drop in rental rates. And that is, again, temporary. That will bounce back later this year by the third quarter when foreign students return. Remember, other countries are much more proficient at us at distributing vaccines. We are horrible. Our infrastructure is abysmal. For some reason, our government can't get it right, but the rest of the world, the majority of it has, and that will benefit us because eventually our borders will open this year and people will start coming back. What does that mean for you, the investor, and for you, the realtor? Because as a realtor, you should know this to bring confidence to your clients because they should be confident. That means rental rates will bounce back quickly. Now, what had happened in the sales sector? Unlike 2017, where fake news and bad media told everybody that the bubble was going to burst, and then we also had very, very bad realtors advise their clients to list houses that should have not gone on the market because there was too much competition, we saw a drop in resale. That didn't happen last year because the Canadian marketplace was more educated, more confident, and actually realized that in times of crisis, it's a time to hold real estate and not to liquidate it. So we did not have a seller frenzy and a buyer's market created. So what happened was the opposite. House prices started rising. Yes, that's true. During the pandemic, our housing market increased. Sales volume dropped because of a lack of inventory, and listings dropped significantly. But what was on market started to go up in price, and that benefited us. So houses continue to go up a steep climb. And what happens when that happens, statistically and traditionally, an inverse relationship occurs. Houses start increasing rapidly, condo prices start plateauing. But then house prices increase so much that condo prices start increasing, and then they intersect. So it's an inverse relationship. We are not at the intersection point. We are at the point where condos start rising and houses are starting to plateau this year, in my prediction. That is the optimal time to invest. And by the time these things are built, they will be at the peak, gaining you, the investor, and you, the realtor, for your clients, maximum returns on your money. Now, does anybody have any questions before I start talking about projects? Please type them in and I see them. And unlike webinars that you watch, I do all mine live so I can actually answer questions. Okay, great. So we've recapped that you need to get a worksheet in fast. We recapped what is happening. We talked about why it is happening, okay? And now we're going to get into the actual projects and how you guys can be successful and why I have chosen these. One other question for Kenna. If I want to buy 1 or 2 units for investment, do I still get first access pricing? Kenna, we sell condos in the first round, hence the name First Access Condos. I would love to buy you as many units as you would like in the first round, but to protect the investor, our condo industry here in the GTA allows 1 unit per individual and 2 units per household. So if you want to buy 2 units, you would have to find a secondary person in the same household to purchase the unit in their name. Now, there's many ways to do that and protect yourself, but the best way to ensure that you're doing it the right way is to discuss a lawyer. I can give you my opinion after, but I would always advise that I'm not a lawyer and not an accountant. And although I'm better versed than most of them, you still should get it from someone who's qualified in that field. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about some projects, and I'm going to tell you why we've selected this. We get approached by many, many developers and many, many sales teams to sell projects during the year. We handpick close to 20 for the whole of 2021. And the reason is that we don't believe every project is a winner, okay? They have to match the First Access Condo criteria for being selected as a proper investment choice for myself, for my team, and for my clients. Now, one of those things, and I'll go down a loose checklist that I use, is there proximity and accessibility to transit? There must be. Our city has been getting, like I said, the most immigration out of any other city in North America for the past years. We see numbers of close to 100,000 people coming to Toronto and 140 coming to the GTA. This is without foreign students. These are people moving here to live permanently. We also see an additional 18 to 20,000 interprovincially coming here. Now we're up to close to 160. When COVID finishes or is starting to wind down and we are returning to some level of normalcy, and let's not call anything a new normal because something new is not normal. But when we go back to the normal we were used to later this year, when more people, start getting vaccinated and then the restrictions are lifted, we are going to see higher numbers than ever. The Trudeau government has increased their immigration cap by 100,000 people a year to increase that number. The immigrants coming through the investor or economic stream are going to be 60% of that 400, which works out to 240,000, with a large portion of those coming to the center of Canada's universe, Toronto. When we add the rest of the immigration, I predict we are going to be getting over 200,000 people year over year starting around Q3 of 2021. By 2022, we'll be in full force and be getting 220,000+ people coming to Toronto. How does that affect transit? Well, it affects commuting times because the more people, the more congestion, the longer it takes to get from point A to point B. That is why we need accessibility to transit for our condos. So that's one. Two, you want to be in an area that has has a large rental pool in close proximity, so people work close to where they want to live. And you want to be in an area, three, that is either up or coming, about to be established, or has been established. Okay? Now, what we do is we research to death projects when we hear about them years before you will. We will know how many projects are coming up in the area. We will even have an idea from the applications to the city on floor plans and unit split. We do that so we understand where to invest. Now, the first project we're going to talk about is Grand Festival. Grand Festival is launching today. So if you want, get in your worksheets as soon as possible. Now, remember, at any point throughout this presentation, if you want to register for a project, which is the way you get information from my admin team, you go onto firstaccesscondos.com, go into the search bar and type a project name. Then you press search or go. It will take you to the landing page. That is where you click register, input your information if you're the realtor, your information if you're the client, and then enter it. My team, Ashley or Kayla, will send it to you very quickly, okay? And that will give you all the information you need to submit. When you're ready for the worksheet, go back and you will see that there's a link for worksheet, or there's also a worksheet that's sent with that introductory email from my admin. Now, today we're going to speak of Grand Festival launching today, Grand Central Mimico launching Tuesday, and Oscar Residence and M4 at M City both launching Wednesday. I apologize, on the screen the dates are wrong. That was my mistake. I was multitasking and I can only do 4 things at once. And those of you that are parents understand what I go through. So here we go. Let's talk about Grand Festival and the South VMC. Grand Festival is located in the South Vaughan Metropolitan Center. Now, this area 20 years ago was nothing. Nothing was there. Menkes, the developer, bought over 100 acres decades ago because they forecasted that one day in the future, this would be a center ripe for development. Now, what do we have here? We're located at Jane Street and Highway 7 in Vaughan, South Vaughan Metropolitan Center. The builder is Menkes and Quadreal, and the architect is IBI. This is going to be a combination of 2 towers, 61 stories and 47, and the 61-story tower is the tallest tower outside of Toronto proper. And between the 2 buildings, we are going to have 1,200 units. Starting prices are predicted, and if you register, I will send you price ranges so you will see the prices today along with floor plans. Okay, now, why is this important? So, the first two towers of Festival 1 and 2 last year, were the #1 selling project in Canada. They sold 1,300 units in just over 2 weeks. That's a phenomenal performance by Cornerstone Marketing and Menkes, and they have a partnership that spans over a decade. For those of you that want to learn more on this project, or for you clients that are a little on the fence and wanted to see a sales center, but because of COVID is very difficult to get in, on this Sunday, my whole episode of Condo Investing with Costas is dedicated to Grand Festival. I am in the sales center talking to the sales manager, Rachel Galway, and talking to the founder of Cornerstone, Johnson Chang. And we have a lot of information, 30 minutes jam-packed with everything you need to know about the area. So please, if you're on the fence, my advice to you is get in your worksheet first and then watch the episode, and that'll seal the deal. Now, they have an extended deposit structure. It's $5,000 draft on signing, the balance to 5% in 30 days, 2.5 90, 2.5 180, 2.5 370, 2.5 540, 2.5 720, 2.5 in 870 days, with a final 1% on occupancy. That's 21%, but that is extremely spread out and very easy for the most of us to adhere to. One second. Okay, adhere to. So I just touched something on my screen, and let me see 1 second. I'm not very tech savvy. That's not working. Just bear with me, people. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Okay, so what this deposit structure tells us is this deposit structure tells us that, hold on, what happened to my there? This deposit structure tells us that everything is extended. We were used to, and the industry standard used to be 20% over 540 days. One of the positive byproducts of COVID, in addition to less traffic, is the fact that developers were able to extend their deposit structures. Now, what that means for us is that we can put in our money at a slower pace, keeping it in our pockets, okay, for a longer period of time. And that allows you to keep it invested elsewhere longer, making you money, or to withdraw it from your home equity line of credits later, paying less interest. And that is the norm, and that is what we're going to be seeing. Here is some renderings of Grand Festival. Remember, this is a 100-acre master plan community, part of a 160-acre master plan community, which essentially is a new city arising from nothing. There will be billions of dollars of infrastructure pumped in. There will be billions of dollars to build this. You are essentially moving into a city of the future. And remember, when it comes to real estate, new appreciates a lot faster than old. And here is some commentary, and it tells you about Grand Festival. Now, we're not going to get into this because I've talked about it. But for those of you that want to talk about this, or want to talk about with your clients or your family or your friends, watch the episode this weekend. It's on CHCH. I'm telling you, it's a lot of information and integral in you selecting this project. Now, you're connected to everything. And this is what started off the South VMC. It was a subway line, okay? A subway was built here a few years ago, and that allowed this part of Vaughan to connect to the city of Toronto. And what we started seeing was developers that knew about this started submitting applications to build towers. And now we're seeing a skyline in Vaughan within the next 10 years that'll rival downtown Toronto. It has truly become the Manhattan of the North. And I'm very happy to hear this because it gave people other options. And just like other parts of the world that have condos spread up in different parts of the city, we are seeing that now. We have obviously the core of Toronto, downtown. We have Yonge and Sheppard. We have Mississauga Center. And now we also have the VMC, okay? So subway access to Vaughan Metropolitan Center, okay, is TTC's Toronto to York subway stations. Several local bus routes also run in the area by YRT, York Region Transit, Viva, and Brampton Transit. It's an easy commute to downtown in under an hour and very relaxed. Highways 400, 407, and Highway 7 are literally right there. And it's centrally located, which means residents can enjoy a variety of lifestyles amenities from entertainment, dining, fitness, retail, etc. Here are some floor plans. And this is what you need. You have an average price per square foot. You have price ranges that we're going to send you. And now you have floor plans. We have the Mumbai, which is a 500 square foot one bedroom. And as you can see, the bedroom has a window. We have the Shanghai, which is a 626 two bedroom. Personally, people ask me, what do you invest in, Costas? I always buy small two bed, two baths. They are my bread and butter and my personal comfort zone. Okay, this is the perfect investor suite in my opinion. It has an interior second bedroom, it has two bathrooms, and it has a second bedroom. Sorry, a primary master suite. So two bed, two bath, 626 square feet. This unit's money, but again, this one bedroom is also money because the bedroom has a window. Now, we spoke about Grand Festival. I told you what's happening. It's launching today. That means the full sales package is released later. And I've been told that I'm also getting a batch of units. What does that mean? That means for those of you that have submitted worksheets, you will be getting a call from me over the course of the weekend. Now, we never get as many units as we need. So it's integral and imperative that you submit your worksheets first because we go down the queue. Okay? And it's not too late. I will be selling units here all week. So you still have time this weekend to get me a worksheet, okay? Before I start talking about Grand Central Mimico and the first phase known as the Buckingham, I'm going to look at a couple more questions because I'm going to try to interact with you guys as much as possible. Good question, Cecilia. Hi, Costa. Sorry I signed in a few minutes late. That's okay. Does it mean the investor needs to submit the 5,000 certified funds with the worksheet or when the unit is assigned? Other agents take your $5,000 draft and hold on to it. I do not want to hold on to 20 drafts and then have to return 5 or 6. What I do is I say, have your clients prepare a bank draft, ask my admin who the lawyer is, and then send us a picture of it. And when we need it, your client already has it, and it's a short drive to either they can meet us, they can meet you, and you meet us, or if you're the client, we can come meet you. One second. Okay, Moeen asked about us advertising this. Unfortunately, we can't usually provide non-watermarked information to you just because we don't have the time. But if you communicate with my admin team, I always try to be as helpful as I can with other agents. And I understand that only a small portion of us have access to these projects. And it is my gift to you that I try to work with you and help your business succeed because I believe at my brokerage right at home, I'm not only a mentor, but I'm a fellow team member and we all work together. So let us know what you need and I'll try to help. Vino, you can contact me directly for that. This is not the forum for that. Now we're going to talk about the Buckingham. The Buckingham is 2 different phases of a master plan community in the heart of Mimico. And what makes this project so great? This project is a collaboration between Van Dyke Properties and Metrolinx. It is going to be connected to the GO station. Now, what does that mean? That means that whoever lives there can be in downtown Toronto in 2 stops. Yes, where are we? 2 stops. Okay. First, you're going to pass CNE and then you're going to be at Union, which means anyone living there can be in downtown, in the financial district, in the entertainment district, anywhere they want within minutes. It is the easiest way to commute. Now, even if you want to drive, it's only a 15-minute drive to the heart of the core. This is fantastic opportunity at close to $300 to $400 less per square foot than the core. Now, how do we translate price per square foot into real world numbers? Let's do it this way. Say you have a 500 square foot unit and it's $300 less per square foot. That means it'll be $150,000 less to purchase here at the Buckingham at Grand Central Mimico than it would be at a project in the core. That's a lot of money. And how does that translate, not just as purchase time, but also during the time when you're trying to service the debt load? That means with current mortgage rates, you'll need $500 less per month for rent to service your debt load. That is substantial. Now, this is located at Buckingham Street, and the community is the Grand Central Mimico community. It is built by Van Dyck Properties in conjunction with Metrolinx, and it has Cohen Architects and SVN Architects. Tentative occupancy will be about 5 years. And the reason is it is a 3-tower project. There is a north tower, which is the shortest, a central, which is the middle, and a south, which is the largest. These are connected by a common base, even though it's separated. And it's also connected to the Mimico, future Mimico GO station. Now, they're going to build this simultaneously, so 3 towers at once, because the excavation is the same for all buildings. It's connected, and the base is the same, so they're going to shoot up towers. So what we're going to see is we're going to see the smaller tower, I predict, ready in about 4 years, the middle one in about 4.5, and the taller one in about 5. So that's pretty much the timeline that we need to go to. Now, this is off the record, but I'm going to tell you guys anyways. The deposit structure is going to be obviously a draft, most likely 5,000 at signing. Remember, we need to exchange something of monetary value to make a contract binding. This is not cashed until 10 days for all projects. You're going to have the balance to 5% in 30, 2.5 in 5 months, 2.5 in 9 months, 5% in 15 months. Okay. And then the final 5 at occupancy. This is another beautiful example of the extended deposit structures. Now, take advantage of these. Buyers, listen. Agents, listen to tell your clients. This extended deposit structure that we are experiencing now is temporary. It's like the drop in rental rates. This will be pulled away, and we will return to 20% down in 1.5 years this year, and I predict after the summer. Condos are selling far too well, and the market is far too strong to continue these deposit structures. Take advantage. Carpe diem. Seize the day. I cannot repeat this more. If there's this one thing that I'd say, and I speak of more than how our market is strong and how fast it's moving, it's how imperative it is to take advantage of these deposit structures. There are no deals at pre-construction. The deal in pre-construction is actually getting a unit in the first round. But the closest thing we've ever had to a deal is this, the extended deposit structure. Here is a beautiful aerial view showing where the projects are going to be located. And this is really good because we can see how the buildings are situated. So the North Tower is the most north of the 3, and it is closest to the Gardner. The Central is obviously in the middle, and the South is the South. Okay, so there you go. And the East view, see the city. The West view, see Mississauga. And these are beautiful views. You can't go wrong either way, because as we know, Mississauga has an awe-inspiring skyline that has came up from nowhere. It was what the VMC is now before the VMC. You cannot go wrong in either units. The way it's going to sell is as such. We are launching the North and the Central Tower at the same time. Okay, so we will be taking worksheets for these 2 towers now. They launch on Tuesday. I need your worksheets before. And Vino asked, how do you submit worksheets? Vino, sorry, I saw that you joined a little bit late. What you do is you go to my website, firstaccesscondos.com. You go to the search bar, you type the name of your project, you hit search, you find the project, you register for it. My admins will send you a package including a worksheet. It'll have floor plans. It'll have an estimate on pricing. You take that, you look at it, you see what you want, you fill out the worksheet, send it back with your ID, and if you're an agent, your business card, okay? And then you become part of the queue. This is an example how central Grand Central Mimico is to what everything around it is, okay? And how it is going to unfold and grow. And this is a great example. We are close to transit, partnership with Metrolinx. That takes you to the future Ontario subway line as well. The site's 4.9 acres. The new community is 60 acres. That's the total Grand Central Mimico community. It's close to office and retail, new development and employment opportunities. There's new infrastructure. There's residential 9 towers, almost 3,000 units. There's a 12-acre park, etc., etc. These master plan communities are great opportunities. And the first 2 projects here I was speaking of are master plan communities. Now, why do we like master plan communities? Well, statistically speaking, and I am a numbers guy, that's why I got into pre-construction. Buying early in a master plan community guarantees that you will make up to 20% more than a standalone tower over the course of the first 10 years of having your unit. That's a lot of money for those of us that hold units that long. Here are some floor plans. We are looking at some beautiful 1-bedrooms here and 1+ dens. This is going to be all in the package that I sent you. Use the estimated price per square foot of $11.50. Multiply it by the interior square footage of your unit, and that is the ballpark that you are going to work on. The majority of the units will be slightly under $11.50, but if we budget high and end up coming in lower, that's a good day for all. Now, we spoke about Grand Festival. We spoke about Grand Central Mimico. Now we are going to a boutique project located in one of the oldest and most well-established, prestigious neighborhoods of our city, the Annex. Just north of the Annex and south of Casa Loma, it's actually on the border, DuPont Avenue, at Bathurst, we have Oscar Residences. Oscar Residence is going to be 9 stories and 155 units. Prices are going to be estimated at $1,300 for units without terraces and closer to $1,400 with units with terraces. It is at 500 DuPont and it's being built by Lifetime Developments. Okay, Lifetime Developments, for those of you that haven't heard of them, has been building condos in our city for close to 3 decades. Okay, Oscar Residence is a rare opportunity in a convenient central location close to downtown without the downtown price tag. It's actually a little lower price than downtown, but the beauty and appeal of this project is you are on DuPont. The new DuPont will have over 6,000 units from Davenport to Dufferin that will will be built up over the course of the next 6 to 7, 8 years. This is truly a new area that was very underdeveloped for a long time. It is bordered by some of the most expensive real estate in our city. And it was only a matter of time till a visionary started building. And the first person that envisioned this was Peter Freed when he launched 346 Davenport in 2016. That project was on Davenport, literally just south of DuPont, and it set the stage and catapulted what was going to happen to the area. So the year after that, Tridel launched Bianca, and it has been a series of boutique higher-end buildings that have been launching ever since. Now, why the boutique building and not the tower? Well, some people like tower living, and those are found in areas that are allowed that density. Other people to like boutiques buildings, which tend to be found in areas that are not that urbanized, kind of like this. This will make you feel like you're not living in the heart of the city, even though you're a short drive from U of T and you can even walk there. Now, I really like this project, and I'm personally putting in friends, families, and former longtime clients into it. Being a boutique building, it means inventory is limited. We have 155 units as opposed to 750 at Grand Central Mimico or 1,200 at Grand Festival. So you understand why it is utmost important that you submit quickly for this, and this will be launching next Wednesday. We also have an idea on deposit structure for this. And what I'm going to say is, off the record, we're looking at 5 or 10,000 at signing, the balance to 5% of 30 days, which is etched in stone. We are also looking at another 5% in October, another 5 the following October 2022, and a final 5 October 2023, bringing us to 20. That means by the time you give your final deposit, you have basically gotten your keys, which is phenomenal. 1 second. I have a series of messages from my admin that all have nothing to do with me. Okay, I'm going to send one thing that I want to send, and then I'm going to get back. Sorry, I am always working. That was Jason Land, VP of Sales and Marketing for Center Court Developments. We do a lot of business with them. And what I'm going to do is be bringing you Prime, which is a project of theirs located at Jarvis and Gerrard, which is literally a block from Ryerson later in April. But let's not focus on that. That's a totally different project than what we're advertising today. Okay, so we've been speaking about Oscar. We've been talking about the area and development. Let's also talk about the area and what's happening with retail and restaurants. There is a series of very nice, trendy, higher end restaurants that have started. One chef has decided to make DuPont for obvious reasons, where he's going to build his foothold in his beachhead. And he's opened up a series of restaurants there. And this area is really booming. And it was only a matter of time. Because what happens is areas usually, the way they are in the demographic is what kind of shops open up there. And like I said, this is a higher end area, great income, but this project right here allows people who could never afford the area to actually live in the area. And what we're going to see here for the investor is we're going to see people who are downsizing these multi-million-dollar homes and will be coming into this project, or if their kids want to leave the nest, but they want to keep them close here again, or if people want to be in close proximity to U of T or work downtown, but don't want to be in a tower of glass, this is the perfect opportunity. Here are some beautiful renderings of the common areas, the movie room, and the courtyard. It's very, very nice. And anything built by Lifetime is a very high quality product. You have a walk score of 91, a transit score of 96, 10-minute walk to DuPont, which actually shorter than that, walking distance to George Brown, close to shops, restaurants, and schools, and nearby parks of Vermont Square, Jan Sibelius Square, and St. Albans Square. Here's an example of 45 units. When I said 6,000, I went a little more east. But here you go. If you look at it, there is a lot of development happening in the area. And it's truly going to be on the start of urbanization and the perfect time. Remember, we want to get first, not last. We want to be a trendsetter, not a trend follower, if we're going to invest and make money. And this is a prime example of that. Again, we bring floor plans when we can. And for 3 of our 4 projects today, we have sample plans. So here's our sample plans 1. We have a 1-bedroom here plus den. We have a 2-bedroom for our second sample plan. These are both not terrace units. One is a Juliet and one is a traditional balcony. This is what we would consider investor product in this building. Non-investor and more end user, it doesn't mean an investor can't buy it, but traditionally they wouldn't, is a terrace suite. And let's see if we have some of those for you. We don't have any here for the sake of time, but we did have some to show you once you register. And again, how do I register for those of you joining late? You go on to firstaccesscondos.com, you type the project in the space bar, and then you go to the landing page, click register, and enter your information. And one of my admins, who are fantastic, will email you that information quickly. You'll have project brochure, you will have floor plans if available, deposit structure if available, estimate on pricing, which allows you to come a ballpark for the unit, and you'll also have a worksheet. Alternatively to mailing the worksheet back manually, and then you always include your driver's license and a business card if you're an agent. We also have a link on it to submit the worksheet that way. Now, we've spoken about 3 projects in 3 different parts of the city. We went Vaughan, we went Mimico, we shot back into the heart of the city at the Annex, and now we're coming all the way west and going to Mississauga, an area west of the city, which is one of the largest cities in Canada, and it has also become and come to its adulthood in the past decade with condos popping up everywhere. And in a few years, it'll have a skyline that rivals Toronto. So what we have is M City. M City is a partnership by Urban Capital, who has been in the developing business for decades, and Rogers Communication, who we all have heard of, and probably half of us have our phones, internet, and TV with. They partnered up a few years back, and they decided to build a 10-tower mega project master plan community, steps from square one in the heart of Mississauga. The first 3 towers have sold phenomenally well. The 3rd tower, which was the one predecessor to this one today, is the tallest tower outside of the city to date, okay? It's located at Burnhamthorpe in Mississauga in the M City community. Builders are Urban Capital and Rogers, and it's designed by Core Architects, which anyone who sells condo has heard of. Tentative occupancy date, this is about a 5 years away build, and it's 67 stories with 1,000 units. Yes, 1,000 units. This is a big tower. Lots of opportunity for investors and a lot of opportunity to make money. This is also one of the projects we will sell overseas. There is a lot of overseas demand for a pre-construction market because, like I said, we're the #1 market on the planet. But here's a little known fact. Only 5% of all units tend to go to foreign buyers, okay, because there's a cap and a quota. So when you hear someone tell you that foreign buyers are buying all our real estate, that is not true. And that goes the way of the comment with the real estate bubble. Oh, you heard me comment on that. So M4 at M City is the newest condominium coming to the city center district from the upper 400s. So we're expecting pricing here to be around 1,050, 1,100 a square foot. They are very tight-lipped, so we don't have floor plans for you, we don't have deposit structure, and we don't have pricing, just my estimate. But remember, you still submit your worksheet. Where it comes to unit choices, you leave that blank, but you can write 1 bedroom, 1+ den, or 2 bedroom. And the most important part of the worksheet submission is the maximum budget. When I get my units and I'm fielding phone calls from 10s, 20, 30, 40 people all at the same time, the fastest way for me to guarantee your success is when I look at your worksheet on my spreadsheet, it says a maximum budget. And when I have a product that matches that, I can call you and say, guess what? I have this, yes or no. And that's how we work efficiently and produce maximum numbers. I have a question here. Do buyers need a pre-approval for a mortgage even though closing is 5 years out? Yes, buyers 95% of the time require a mortgage pre-approval. I do not know why. Because in Vancouver, which is a market that is based on speculation, and I will argue that point with anybody, they don't require it. But in Toronto, which is a fundamentally strong real estate market based on supply and demand, we do require it. And guess what? Here's the pickle. The same financiers finance projects over there that do here. So I have no idea why, but we do need a pre-approval. And when getting a pre-approval, go to someone that specializes in this. It's the same thing when it comes to a lawyer. Use a lawyer that actually closes and reviews pre-construction contracts. Don't use a lawyer that has never done one, because they will look at a 60-page contract, have no idea where to start, have no idea what to look for, and even worse, tell you, their client, that they are going to get all these changes for you. They're not going to get any changes. These contracts are pretty much standard, and they all follow the same template. If they can save you a couple $100 here or there, that's possible at some projects, but no one's going to allow them to reinvent the wheel. Remember, the more cost that a developer has, they need to pass it on to the end user. And here is something that's a little known fact, and I try to say this in every webinar. Close to 20% of every condo that you purchase as purchase price goes directly to the government for taxes, levies, and fees. Yes. So your $500,000 studio or 1 bedroom, $100,000 is going to multiple levels of government. So when you have to pay 4 to 5% in closing costs for development charges, which are capped at all my projects, don't think you're the only one. You're only paying a small portion. Not that I'm defending developers, but that's the reality of the matter. So we've discussed this. And now M4 is almost here. And what we see is here some renderings. We have a great sales center. I was in the sales center, okay? I don't know why this picture is here. That is a picture of Oscar, but we'll still talk about it, okay? We have a great sales center that I don't know if you can visit because of COVID, but I did take a few videos. I have a video of the model suite, I believe. I have a video of the scale model of all 10 towers. I have a video of this actual tower, M4, okay? Now, moments from Square One's transit hub in Cooksville Go, you can be whisked to Toronto in half an hour. That's true. You can travel to Waterloo, Guelph, and Niagara in comfort, again on the highways QEW 403 and 401 in just minutes. M City's 2-acre public park in your backyard is all year-round outdoor fun. That's a 2-acre park in the heart of Mississauga just for this project. It's 9-minute walk to Sheridan College and 10-minute drive to U of T Mississauga campus. Now, I have a fantastic video that talks about how Rogers has brought high tech to this development. From the comfort of your phone, you can order couriers, get them to drop off package, let people into your suite, let them into your building, see who you're letting in, set up times. It is fantastic. And it is truly on the cutting edge of condo technology. And Rogers has partnered up with Urban Capital to bring it to you. and it's Experience the Future of Downtown Mississauga, and it welcomes 67 stories, M4. We're a new, vibrant, world-class destination at your fingertips. Okay, you will be the first to get pricing and plans on Wednesday when they are available to us, and I believe the launch is going to be in the afternoon. So by the evening, you should have this. And remember, just because you don't have pricing and plans doesn't mean you should wait to submit a worksheet. We have worksheets submitted already, and like I said, what they have is the client information, a picture of their ID, and they also have what kind of unit they're looking for and what type of price they're comfortable paying with. And remember, put your real maximum budget. You wouldn't want to miss out on a project because you put 610 and I had a unit for 620, but you could really afford 620, so I never called you. You're going to have a luxurious 2-story lobby, 24-hour concierge and fireplace lounge. Residents and their guests can enjoy M City's 4 amenities such as indoor saltwater pool, fitness center, screening room, splash pad and kids playground, indoor kids playground, outdoor lounge, seating with fireplace, and outdoor barbecue stations and private outdoor dining area. The GTA condo market. I'm going to go back now and talk about what I did at the start for those of you that missed it. 1 Jarvis in Hamilton. Not really Toronto, but it shows us that the market is so great that it has spilled out over into Hamilton. It sold out in a week. 8 Wellesley sold out in just over 7 days. That's 600 units, shy 1, 599 units that sold out in 7 days. Bayview Village recently had 1,000 worksheets in 24 hours, 1,500 worksheets in 48 hours for 288 units. Wrap your head around that. 1 out of 5 people got a unit. The key to do this, okay, is get in first. There's a queue. Of course, it's a business. My best customers and the people that buy with me all the time do get some preferential treatment, but it doesn't mean that you won't get one if you're one of the first few, okay? I'm constantly building new relationships, constantly expanding who I work with. We're even expanding to overseas sales. So we're always expanding in every direction. But the way for you to get a unit for yourself and your client is to submit your worksheet quickly. This is a unique opportunity to get into the pre-construction market in the GTA. And why is that? We are at a time where we are coming out of a crisis. Throughout history, every time there is a crisis, if you do what everybody else does, you do not get ahead. But it is a unique opportunity for those that are a little more confident and are a little more bullish on the market to take advantage of extended deposit structures, the highs and lows, okay, the peaks and valleys we've been experiencing, and invest. This is the time where people make a lot of money. My name was Costas Kivelos. I'm the founder of First Access Condos, okay, the host of Condo Investing with Costas every Sunday at 10 a.m. on CHCH, mentor to almost 5,300 agents that write at home, and someone who also invests in the condo market. You can reach me at www.firstaccesscondos.com, info@firstaccesscondos.com, and you can also call me or text me. Texting is better because I get way too many phone calls in a day and I just don't have time to answer them at 416-662-5701. If you were to take anything from today, I want you to remember we have Grand Festival in Vaughan launching today. We have Grand Central Mimico launching Tuesday in Mimico. We have the Oscar Residences in the Annex launching on Wednesday. And we have M4 at M City launching next Wednesday as well. We have 4 projects, different parts of the city, different price points, all fantastic opportunities, and all with extended deposit structures. Extended deposit structures, which will end in the next few months. Take advantage of these, okay? Now, if you guys have any other questions, you can type them in now. I'll wait a couple seconds. If not, text me, call me, get your registrations in, get your worksheets in, and let's all make some money. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.